Hello, and welcome to our first episode of the Brooks Biomedical Science Society's podcast series. My name is Luca Rossi, an undergrad studying biomedical science, and I am this year's current president. During the remainder of semester one, the society was unable to host or perform any events due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the restrictions put in place. It saddened me and my committee not being able to deliver our plans and ideas for all our members to enjoy. We had hoped the pandemic situation would ease going into semester two and that we would be able to recommence a university life closer to normal. Unfortunately, we're still under lockdown, but we all pray that everyone can stay and remain safe and healthy during this difficult time. However, from being a mere idea initially, we have arrived at a decision to communicate and deliver talks and conferences in the form of podcast interviews. In this way, we are able to speak and convey interesting topics and helpful information for all students undertaking biomedical science, as an undergraduate degree or just a particular interest in the area. We share a desire to learn more and expand our knowledge about the subject and the specializations or paths that await us after graduation, a desire we want to convey and share with you, the listener. I now wish to introduce my fellow and trusted committee members, starting from Chloe.
Hi, my name's Chloe and I'm the Vice President. I'm studying biomedical science and I hope you guys learned something really interesting from this podcast.
Hi, I'm Katelyn and I am the social sec for the society. I'm also studying biomedical science along with most of the people here.
Hi, I'm Lucas. I'm the treasurer of the society and I'm also studying biomedical science.
Hey, my name's Priscilla. I'm the academic officer and I'm also studying biomedical science, and I just want to thank you all for listening.
Hi, I'm Tidora. I study human biology and I'm the social media manager. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm another of the social secretaries of the society, and I also study biomedical science. I'm just here to annoy the rest of the committee members.
All right, thank you all so much for helping me out with this and for this fantastic and great idea, which now is a step closer to realization and making it a success. Now that we've all introduced ourselves and finally, as a committee, put our faces to our names, we will now begin to describe and explain just a few of the subject areas that we'll cover over the course of this podcast throughout this semester, hopefully till about May, and who knows, maybe even throughout the summer holidays. We plan to at least post an episode once a week, every Saturday, probably when this is out now. But we might even be doing 2 or 3, depends how much we can put in to also to your request. So without now giving too much away about what we'll cover during this semester, we'll now give about 5 or 6 areas about, what we'll be covering.
All right, so one of the first things is research. As a main field of biomedical science, a predominant path undertaken by graduates in this degree. Biomedical research is essential for the improvement of understanding the pathways and mechanisms that compose the phenomenon of life. Without it, advancements in making new treatments or therapies for diseases cannot be made. And so we will be talking with both lecturers and external researchers.
Going on to study medicine and becoming a doctor is the second very popular destination for biomed graduates. Now more than ever, there is a need for more doctors. We will be talking to surgeons, clinicians, and many other different types of medic. We are hoping that this will enable you to apprehend a little of what it is like to work as a doctor, the skills needed, and the incredible specializations and opportunities that lie ahead of you.
One key aspect of the undergraduate program is the placement year. Here students learn and experience and understand the working environment of a research or healthcare field. Many people will go to work for big biotech companies. We'll be talking to students who are at their placement year currently, asking them their thoughts and suggestions for future students that are hoping to apply to the placement year. They'll be giving tips on applications and anything that you need to know for living away from uni and home.
More employers are seeking postgraduate degrees such as masters and PhDs. However, more opportunities can be taken without an undergraduate degree without a postgraduate degree needed. So what is the benefit of a postgrad? And what else awaits if you choose to do one? For our episodes, we'll hope to answer these questions and help you in your decision making for future interviews with current postgraduate students.
The use of biomedical science can reach the world of industry to the pharmaceutical, medical technology, manufacturing, and environmental protection sectors, to name a few. With the application of our degree expanding more and more, new job domains are being created and are ready to be filled. We will be talking with current workers in the frontier of the oil of industry to tell us the new and upcoming market projections.
So there are just a few of the routes that you can take for careers and things like that. But at Brooks, we have an amazing careers team that is always here to help and convey a lot more of the information and opportunities that you cannot necessarily find yourself. So throughout the podcast, we'll be discussing how the application process from postgraduate medicine and for your thesis and your project can be performed and how you can get your maximum potential out of that.
Fantastic stuff. So now we've basically put a synthesis on what the podcast will be about, and we've got the formalities now. And next week, we'll be even having our first interview with Dr. Dave Carter, a reader and lecturer at our current university, specialized in oncology, and a very much loved lecturer in our department. It's sad to see, unfortunately, he is leaving this March. So we've just managed to squeeze into now an interview with him in February. We kind of, I think Tedora may have been taught by him. Unfortunately, me and the others kind of missed out. But
he is fantastic.
Yeah,
so easy to understand, breaks everything down. So fun.
Yeah, so it's really important to have that, I guess, with oncology especially. But hopefully next week with the interview, at least we'll have somewhat of an idea what we missed out on. It's kind of a painful but kind of a nice experience at the same time. Now just to, because there's a meet the committee kind of episode, we can just go around kind of just telling our story a little bit, why we chose biomedical science, what we hope to maybe get out of this podcast even, and then maybe we'll have a fun question at the end if we have enough time now. But I can kick things off. If that's all good with you guys? Yeah. I'm hoping to eventually do medicine now, and I think studying now biomedical science definitely is helping me to go on. Hopefully, if I can get, I really do hope I can go on to do medicine. By understanding more the mechanisms and everything now, especially during our degree, we're doing like cellular biology this semester, microbiology, and all these subjects. It's making me really appreciate like what's really going on in like our cells in our body, and knowing all that more in detail information about what's really going on to perform life. Hopefully, as a doctor, will make me to be able to do more treatments, or I don't know. I have no idea what specialization to get into now, but a more holistic approach, like knowing what's really going down. I think the root cause of some pathologies and what some diseases are being caused to the cellular, if not molecular level, I think it will definitely help, hopefully make me a better doctor. What did you guys apply for biomedical science? We can start off with Tedora. We can kind of pass on the bat and pass the hot potato. I don't know what we should call it. We can just do hot potato. I don't know.
I think as the only person here that doesn't have the title of biomed science, okay. I chose human biology. So there will be a couple people that are on the human biology that listen. Hopefully some like biological side, but for the human sciences, the human biology degree had the most flexibility in terms of like what you could do, because I know that biomed is, these are the modules that you do, this is what you're learning, and it is to work towards accreditation, but I just thought it'd be a bit more interesting. In previous years I did some anthropology work, so I looked at human remains. I was able to identify like if someone had died from a particular trauma. If one thing that I found really fascinating was I was looking at the dentition of the person that I was taking care of, let's
Examining.
say,
Yeah,
examining,
yeah,
and
sure.
you could see when they had lost teeth, and you could sort of count back how many years before they died they had lost those teeth, and
Oh, you can
like
track
if
back. Oh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
and so you could almost tell their age, because if they'd lost those teeth like say 30 years ago,
Mm.
you can tell that they were quite old, or things like that. Was that I
I
know
guess
that
you
I
can
wouldn't
also
have been able
tell
to do
like
that.
about their, I guess, demographic as well, and maybe whereabouts in the world, and
Yeah.
also the kind of race and also their background as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
like the conditions of their teeth. I mean,
Oh my
luckily
goodness.
luckily I stopped drinking soda because otherwise I wouldn't have any
Oh
teeth.
gosh.
Yeah,
It's
or
really
no, not soda.
fascinating.
Oh gosh, Americans say soda. It's like, what was it like?
Chloe,
Fizzy
that's
drinks. Yeah,
you.
yeah. Pop soda, as Chloe would say. Yeah.
One of the things that I saw in this person's teeth were that they'd favored like one side to chew rather than the other, which
Mm.
was like something
Oh.
that you wouldn't think, but it like grinds down your teeth. It's so fascinating. So that's one of the reasons that I picked human biology. To get back to the point, it's there's a wider variety of things that you can look at. And in terms of what I want to do after my degree, I still don't know. It changes every week. But I started because I just wanted to know more. Who do I pick on?
Pick on someone.
Priscilla, you're kind of below me, so you have a go.
Okay, so I picked Biomed because, well, originally, to be fair, I wanted to go into medicine as well after I finished my degree. And all I knew when I was applying to uni was I just really, really wanted to do something with science. I really, really loved biology, but I loved chemistry as well, so I needed a little bit of chemistry in there. And just when going to like open days and stuff, Biomed just really stood out to me, and even throughout the course, like it's really like made me realize that I picked the right degree. And in terms of what I want to do afterwards, I originally wanted to do medicine, but ultimately now I'd be looking to look at getting like my PhD and going into research.
Wow. So quite a big, quite a long road down the
Yeah.
line. Well, I can't talk. I'm doing 6 years of medicine, so
It's not that much different to medicine, but
No, exactly,
in terms of how long you're at uni. But yeah, no, that's
What
what
sort of
I would like to do.
What sort of research were you thinking of going into? What's your like most favorite field, as it were?
I don't actually know if this is classed as a field, but I know it's an area of research, so I'm going to go with it. I would like to go down the chronic illness route. So I myself have a few like health problems and stuff, and that really sort of solidified the fact that that's just something I'd like to research. There's so many different chronic illnesses and diseases, and there's so many things that people don't know about it. So that's what I'd like to go into.
No, that's really cool. I mean, do you want to pick on anyone, Priscilla?
I'm gonna pick Ben just because that's how my Zoom looks.
I similarly to Luca and Priscilla wanted to do medicine originally, and then changed my mind to do biomed. And it's been very interesting. I don't really know why I always wanted to do biology as a subject, or human biology in particular, but I just always felt that that was something I was good at and something I wanted to do. Found it interesting. After I graduate, I'd quite like to try again, maybe doing medicine or potentially going into research. Not really sure yet. Still got quite a long way to go.
Yeah, we still got
So-
the road to track, so keep calm.
Yeah,
Life is
so
ahead
wait
of
and
you.
see. Yeah. See how I'm doing and then decide what I want to do. Chloe, would you like to go next?
Okay. Well, I decided to go into biomed, coming from America also, because in America it's not such a distinct field. It's kind of, it's not as big of a thing over there. So when I was researching uni in the UK, I kept seeing all this biomed, and I was like, what really is that?
What is that?
And so I was looking at it and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, it kind of has like a little bit of everything. I liked that it kind of focuses on treatment of like diseases and bettering human medicine as it is. And then also, I didn't really know that medical science was a thing either. So that was a big part of my decision, I guess. But I'm very happy with all that we're learning and stuff. I also plan on going into medicine once I graduate, and I
Gosh, we
really
have so many
feel
medics. Gosh.
I feel like everything we're learning is very applicable, and I know it's going to be an extremely long journey because I'm going to try and go back to America. And the process, I've made it a whole lot more complicated for myself, but I don't regret anything at all. I'm happy for the experience.
No, that's good. Because I think in America you can't directly apply to undergrad medicine, can you?
No,
you have to do
it's
you have to do a
impossible.
bachelor's. Yeah, you have to by I think the system you have to do a bachelor's degree and then do
Yes,
undergrad. So it's like
yes.
9 years.
Which over there, the bachelor's degrees themselves take on average a lot longer than they do here. So it
Oh,
really
really?
does add up to be a lot of years.
So it's about 10 years. Gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you crossed the little lake and then
The pond.
yeah, the pond. Yeah, that's what the word was. Lake. Oh my
Yeah,
God, pond.
across
Yeah.
the pond.
Yeah.
You'd still have to do those what is it, the USMLE?
The MCAT.
MCAT.
Yes, which I have discovered they have a testing center in London. It's closed because of coronavirus.
Do they not do it online? Because I think we have to start.
No.
Because
They
actually,
don't do
me
it
and
online.
do they not? Because me and Ben were actually starting to talk about this the other month. That with the UK cat. I mean, luckily the UK cat's all done online on the computer. Thing is, you have to be at the testing center on the computer. I don't think you can do it from home. So it'll be interesting to maybe we can talk about this at a later date on another episode on, how we can expand upon that. Okay.
All right, I pick Katelyn.
Okay, so I originally wanted to do medicine, exactly the same as Luca and Ben and
Chloe. The list goes on and on.
But unfortunately, because I missed a lot of school in GCSE years due to being really ill, I didn't get amazing GCSE grades, which then kind of went into my A levels because I didn't have the previous knowledge. So my A levels weren't amazing. So I had to think of another way round of then getting to medicine. So if you do biomed, then you can do postgrad medicine, which is only a 4-year degree instead of 5 years or 6 years. So it was a way of me getting the knowledge that I needed to do medicine and then getting to medicine. So yeah, that's why I'm doing biomed.
Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you.
Thank you. Lucas, your turn.
So but returning when I originally chose to do biomedical science because I am interested in bacteriology and virology, specifically pathogens. So one of the things I wanted to do after university was go either into virology or bacteriology. So one thing that really sparked was during my A-levels, I went over to South Africa briefly to do some work in a safari park. And one of the things they have issues with is anthrax. It's naturally occurring and causes many issues. I mean, they had an issue in Namibia where 100 hippos were killed by an anthrax outbreak.
Wow.
So it's something that really interests me because something so small can cause that many deaths in such a short amount of time.
That's pretty cool. So if did you choose Kaz also as one of your thesis? Because she's, really high up in virology and bacteriology.
For my dissertation, I chose Hee Jun Hong. So she is studying actinomycetes, I believe. So the sort of bacteria found in soil, because they are one of the main sources of modern day antibiotics because of how they work, and it's astonishing what they do.
It'd be cool if you can find another kind of like way out from this whole antibiotic resistance.
Well,
kind of era
actually is the hope of the project.
Is that actually? Oh, yeah. Bang on! I'm banging on the money.
Not my part of it, but the overall goal is I don't know if I should keep it under wraps or not, but she has advertised it to the students. But the whole role is to find out the antibiotics resistant mechanisms of the bacteria, find ways around that, and also find new antibiotics that can be used.
Yeah.
Especially for things like MRSA, where vancomycin no longer works.
All right. Okay. Awesome stuff. Well, we have the branch of researchers and the branch of medics on this committee. So luckily we'll be good balance, just about. I mean, it's Arabella was unable to join us, but we hopefully make an appearance later on. And I think that's it for our first episode. You've met all of us now, and then tune in next week with our interview with Dave Carter, and hopefully we'll also be able to release potentially a careers talk also with Emma Robinson. Hopefully she'll be able to give some tips and tricks also on how the careers team function and how they can give support as well. But thank you all so much for listening. You can all follow us on our social media pages, on Instagram, on Facebook. We'll put a link also in the podcast description, if not also on the YouTube channel description. Share, send it to your friends, family, whoever. Spread the word. We need. This is the go-to student podcast now. I mean, it is designed for Brooks, but the more who listen, the better. And give us a follow, give us a like, whatever. Give us a comment, and also let us know what you guys think on any topics you maybe want, or questions to ask. And do send us your questions. Message us. We will, we'll give a newsletter, describing about what the interview with Dave Carter will be. But if you have any questions, do send them to us, and we'll be trying to make sure to ask him. And stay tuned and stay safe, everyone, and catch you next week then. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.